Welcome everyone to Around the ACL. It's Michelle Thompson here with Trey Ryder and Anthony Ione, and we have some really fun weeks coming up. We've got the ACL Canada Opening happening this weekend. We've got our first national the next weekend. Lots of fun stuff to dive into. But before we do that, anything exciting, cornhole related, anything going on this weekend for you guys?
Nothing too bad. Anthony was here end of last week. Anthony came down. He was in the HQ. We were filming some content.
Nice.
Meesh, I walked into the HQ. Nobody there. That's weird for me. That's weird for me because I've always been there during Worlds, right?
It's true.
Walk into this thing, nobody. I was like, oh wow, I've never seen the HQ like this. This is awesome.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and Anthony, I got to watch Anthony do like 500 takes of Cornhole 101. It was,
oh yeah,
you got to see what it's like when we don't get to riff off, just be able to talk about. We had to actually read scripts and do that kind of thing. It's not as fun. Not as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, like teleprompters and stuff.
Oh no,
we don't.
Top of your head.
Yeah, he's an athlete. He'll make adjustments.
Just wondering how sophisticated we were getting. That's all.
No, maybe one day we'll get a teleprompter, but not anytime soon.
I mean, that's actually a skill in itself. I've heard. I've never used one, but I heard like reading teleprompters without looking like you're reading a teleprompter is its own skill set. So we'll see. We'll see if we get there.
So is operating one, because you got to control the speed. You can't be going too fast or too slow. It's like it's an effort.
That's true. That's all.
Yeah, when I do the cornhole science videos, I have like a 40 font printout just right behind the it's just bullets, so that as I'm talking it just kind of keeps me organized when I take a peek. But this one was like, Haley would be like, all right, tell me how to throw a flat back, go. And I'm like, I mean, I've talked about it 1,000 times, but when you're talking to someone, sometimes you want your words to be clean and you want to say the whole thing without like rephrasing the same thing twice or going back to the beginning. Yeah. So you'd get about 2 sentences in and you just didn't like how that went. And you're like, yeah, all right, let's do that again. Let's try that again. So we kept doing that over and over again. But yeah, it's off the top of the head there, Meesh.
Can't wait to see it. I'm sure it's going to come out great. We won't even notice.
Can't wait to see the outtakes.
Oh, the outtakes.
Oh, yeah.
All about the pictures.
The cornhole science outtakes have a lot of F-bombs, but I kept it clean in the HQ. I kept it clean.
That should be good. All right, let's go ahead and get into the Canada Open #1 in Niagara Falls. This is going to have over 25,000 in payouts, 160 double teams, 117 singles. What do you guys think? Who's standing out to you? Who should we look out for? We'll start with you, Trey.
Yeah, the Canada Open, I was there last year, right? It was kind of this tentpole flagship event. Like it was the big thing coming to Canada, and it was cool to be a part of. And it was smaller than a lot of our other opens, but it still felt like you kind of walked in the building and you kind of felt like, okay, this is like a big deal. Like something's happening here, which was really cool and really special. And I said it on this show last year when we did it. It was like one of the really cool and interesting things was that like how much people, like it was like going back in time here in the United States a few years to a point mentally where players were just getting involved and just getting started. And I think one of the comments I made was like, I'd never seen so many sub-6 PPRs and people smiling, right? And it was like really cool to experience. But like, and so now what I can't wait to see is like Canada's starting to grow so much. And I hear about all these reports and everything of, people are really starting to get good. People are really starting to grow. Events are getting bigger and bigger. And I think that's just exciting to see how the evolution of Canada, and Canadian cornhole continues to grow. So that's like one big theme and one thing I'm really excited to watch, even if it's just through live streams, just understanding what I'm seeing there. But there's going to be a lot of pros this year that are going up there. I mean, it's going to be a different vibe, right? Last year, I think maybe there were 10 pros maybe that went up there to participate in the Open. This year, there's a good, I don't know if Anthony's actually counted, but to me, there looked about to be 20 to 25 pros going up to the event and some big names. Recently added Ryan Smith is going to be going up there. I think he's probably the headliner, maybe one of the favorites that's going to be going up there and making the trip. But obviously, Jordan Power swept this event last year. Jordan Power looking to kind of repeat what he did. All eyes are kind of on him. He's coming off of a big doubles win alongside Jay Rubin in the Great Lakes Conference event, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You're still going to get your Miranda Coy and Lori Dool. They went up there last year. It was really fun, and I think they made a good impression up there in Canada, and they're going to kind of see if they can win that again. That's when Lori Dool won women's up there. I mean, that was a big win for her as far as being a women's singles player, so she's going to see if she can do that again. But as I look through this list, like I said, there's a lot of strong names on there. Joe Niestedt, Anthony will talk a little bit about, I'm sure, but this feels more competitive this year. This feels like a higher level from top to bottom. And certainly we're going to get a real, like last year, I don't think we were saying to ourselves, ooh, how are the Canadians going to shape up, right? Because we knew it was still so new. This year, it kind of more has that feel, right? I think there are a lot of Canadian advanced level players and maybe, teetering on that upper echelon that are really going to use this as a benchmark to say, okay, some of these top Americans are going to be coming north of the border. Let's use this as a measuring tool to see how good we really are. So I think that's the cool, exciting theme for the weekend.
I'd like to see all the women too. I mean, we got Sam Finley, we got Bella. A lot of the women are going to be Yeti Irwan. So it's going to be a tough field for the women for sure. What are your thoughts, Anthony?
Yeah, I think the measuring stick comment was perfect. I mean, for me, the takeaway is going to be, we know Joe Niestedt, Ryan Smith, Kano, these guys are going to be up at the top of, they're going to be deep into these brackets. What I'm going to be looking for is what names are sprinkled in there that we just don't know or we don't say on a frequent basis. I'm going to be looking into some stats, just curious, do we see players making it deep with a dirty style, low PPR, high DPR game? Do we see a lot of high PPR style things? So I'll be looking a little bit in that, but mostly at wins and losses, maybe some one-on-one matches. Does someone get a win against a Timmy Jonas or a Humans that we don't recognize? So I think that's it. That's what this is all about, is it is that measuring stick for me to see what Canada has to bring. But you mentioned a lot of those names, Trey. I think Timmy Jonas, coming in, I feel like he is really trending up right now in the league and in his game. I'd like to see him come out and maybe surprise us with a bracket final or something like this. Storm Hogue, I'm not sure you meant Jay Dotson, Gabe Dolan. These guys are going to be in singles and doubles. I think in this type of audience, maybe they can make a run at it, like you were saying. Some of the women, Yeti Irwan coming in pretty hot, along with Samantha Finley. Really excited to see how the women's. Are we going to have a women's only event out there for this one?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That'll be kind of cool to see how these ladies are going to measure up. Specifically, we keep saying Yeti's name. We expect her to come out and do really well. Can she do it in this environment? On the double side, though, it's going to be pretty tough. You've got your Niestedt and Schermerhorn together. You've got Hogue and Humans. They're kind of up in that same area in the Northeast. Good buddies. They're going to be pretty tough. Ferreira and Powell really standing out for me right now in doubles. Jordan Power coming off of a heater in conference this past weekend. He looked really, really good, specifically in doubles, did well in singles as well, with Ferreira, who we know is trending up. And I know Power's excited to team up with him in this event here. He's already announcing it on Facebook that he's pumped for. I think they're going to be tough, a tough team. I don't think we've ever seen them team up before. At least I can't recall that one. Another one that's catching my eye here, Ryan Smith and Jamie Fincham, only because of what Jamie did recently, a name that probably isn't known nationally, but we're talking about a guy that came out and beat Devin Harbaugh recently in a conference event, teaming up with Ryan Smith, who's absolutely, I don't know if you guys saw some numbers this past weekend on that match between Ryan Smith and Devin Harbaugh, but unbelievable. Ryan Smith is playing just elite level right now, better than I've ever seen him play before. So I think they're going to be pretty tough. Finley and McBride teaming up. Yep.
One comment I'll add in there is Ryan Smith and Jamie Fincham played the last Open together when they were in Winter Haven, and they took down Jamie Graham and Matt Guy playing together.
Boom. There you go. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. And you have a pro with an amateur on that one there. But what do you think? What do you think, Meesh? Anything else standing out for you?
You know, I was saying earlier, I think the women's event's going to be really interesting to watch, mostly just because I do see a lot of names in the women's that I recognize. I'm kind of going in blind with a lot of the other people. I have no idea what to expect, but I know Nicole Pratt's been putting in a lot of work. I'm curious to see if she can make a deep run there in the women's bracket with all those women pros that are coming. But yeah, really, really interested to see this all play out with a bunch of people that I'm not familiar with. And I think we could see a storyline where somebody jumps out like, who is this person? Obviously, the Canadians are going to know these people, but some of us are not less familiar. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, and there's for those looking at it to see who some of the top Canadians are. I mean, really the headliners are going to be your couple that are pros, and then there are a few PDC players that are going to be, a lot of people are going to have their eyes on there, right? So Brandon Brown was a PDC player last year. He'll be on the show a little bit later today. He's obviously going to be at the top as who you would expect to be a top finisher on the Canadian side. You throw in there Connor Weiss. He has been someone that won the Canadian Pro Qualifier. So at this point, when you put all the Canadians together in one single event, he came out on top of that. So that's another person that people are going to have their eyes on to say, okay, who are some of these top talents? And it's crazy to say out loud, but it's the truth. Like, you legitimately, as an American, need to start watching some of these events and say to yourself, who are going to be the main, opponents and people that you need to watch out for when cornhole becomes an Olympic sport, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be a few years down the road when we're looking at ourselves going like, how does the American national team match up against the Canadian national team, right? Now, I'm certain that there's going to be some people that we haven't seen yet, right, as the game continues to grow in Canada. But one thing is for certain is I know for a fact that there's going to be at least one or two people on that future Canadian national team that we'll see at this event and maybe they're just getting started, or maybe they're one of these top players that we're talking about. So Bernie Portalesi is also going to be a top player. He's PDC player that he'll be competing up there. We've also seen like Dion Kuza and Albert Parsons and Tracy and all these different names out there, right? That we're going to have an opportunity to really see how they stack up. And so those are just a few of the names that I think a lot of Americans should be paying attention to, at least this weekend.
Awesome. Well, we will look forward to all of that. Also coming up here is the news around the league. We had a few things happen over the weekend. The Great Lakes Conference #2. We had the Georgia State Championship, and we had the Mountain South Conference #2. For the Great Lakes Conference, singles went to Steven Bernasette, who beat Jeremy Frazier. And then in doubles, Jordan Power and Jay Ruman win over Steven Bernasette and Ryan Windsor, the roommates. So those are some big wins there. I mean, we talked about the Power Rubin team, and did one of you not put them on the top 10, or did we all put them on the top 10? Now I can't remember.
I think we all put them in the top 10. I think I had them at number 9, which they didn't like.
Okay, got it. So maybe that inspired the win this weekend. We don't know. But, yeah, thoughts about the Great Lakes Conference, Trey?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it certainly makes me feel better about Power and Rubin, right? I think we all said the same thing, right? We were worried, right? We weren't seeing them in opens. And the very limited opens that we were seeing them in, they were not finishing anywhere near the top. And that was worrisome to all of us, right? I mean, I know you can blame it on partner, but the last time I saw Jordan Power in person was in Winter Haven, and he was in Tier 2 doubles with Tom Walter, right? That does not speak confidence into a reigning world doubles champion. Now, I say all that to say, to see them compete at a high level, to see who Jay Rubin beat in singles, to see who this team beat in doubles, especially when you pair Ryan Windsor with Steven Bernasette, who won the whole thing, and they were able to take them down, makes me feel a lot better about the doubles team of Power and Rubin.
Anthony, your thoughts?
Yeah, so Bernasette wins his bracket going through Jay Rubin in the final, but check this out. Jay Rubin, he took a second-round loss to Joe Niestead and then went on a tear. He won 10 straight matches to get back to the championship. Check out, he goes through a Schramm, he goes through Schermerhorn, Windsor, Niestead on the rematch, gets Bernasette in the first scoop of that final, and then it came down to a 21-17 final against Bernasette, where Bernasette took that one. So we keep talking about committed pro players in this game. Bernasette now this season a committed pro player, and he is playing just like it's his job. I think he's coming into the Natty 1 really, really hot. I wouldn't be surprised. We're not talking Bernasette right now in singles as much. This dude could blow us all away and really have a solid run at Natty 1. In the other bracket, it was Jordan Power and Frazier who fought for the king seat. Jordan Power threw completely lights out in this tournament. I was talking about that one a little bit earlier. So I think he's coming into the Canadian Open really hot. But it was the silent slayer, Isidro Herrera, that comes out of the losers bracket to challenge Frazier in that final. Herrera is just, he's always off radar. He's barely in any tournaments.
He's so quiet. Like,
he's so damn good. Unbelievable. The dude must just be repping quietly by himself. I mean, you're not going to come out and play like this if you're not throwing bags every day. So he must just be repping quietly, making progress on his own. But Frazier, I mean, he continues to be an elite level player in the 2023 season. We keep saying his name, wins a bracket here. The Great Lakes in general, the talent it's unreal. It may be arguably the best conference. I know that Florida might come in, that lower level might come in, the Carolinas might come in, but Great Lakes currently certainly in that discussion. So check this one out. And this is how deep that conference is. And to note, this is a conference, right? It's not an open, it's not a national. So you would expect some of those names to do really well. Ryan Windsor, 5th in his bracket. There's 2 brackets. So essentially he's kind of in that 10th range. Jeremy Schermerhorn, 7th in his bracket. Dave Sutton, 9th. Vojanov, who requested to be cut because he didn't make the TV. He didn't see a vision of him making it on TV. 13th in his bracket. Singleton, 13th. Courtney Coy, 17th. We got Trevor Kufis, who was a top 15% player last season, 17th in his bracket. And then you got a Brian Schramm, who pled his case about not being in the draft, got drafted, 25th place. So, hey, the Great Lakes, they're packed with talent, arguably one of the best conferences.
And that doesn't even include Richards and Lopez, who weren't at the event.
Boom. Good call.
That's true. That's a tough one. Our going into the Georgia State Championship, singles went to Clint Parham and second went to Hunter Claxton. For doubles, Jeremiah Hector and Clint Parham, and Devin Keene and Caleb Chambers were your winners there. Trey, any thoughts on the Georgia State Championship?
Yeah, real quick, to be honest, I don't know a lot about Clint Parham. Now I'm paying attention to him. You sweep a state, you win both singles and doubles, I'm going to pay a little bit more attention. So he's got my eyes there. And then another appearance of that Devin Keene name.
Yes.
Name keeps popping up. Just wanted to, as we look forward to potential pros for next season, someone that I'll have my eyes on.
Anthony?
Yeah, Trey said it. We should mention Hector as well. One of the high PPR rookies coming in. He was kind of high up on the draft list that we thought would go pretty early. So we see his name again. So again, National 1. I can't wait to get out to Corpus Christi. I have like a list of people that I want to go see play, and these boys are on the list as well.
And in the Mountain South Conference, number 2 singles went to Gavin Hammond, and second, Yeti Irwan. For doubles, Gavin Hammond and Jackson Remick. Anyone getting sick of hearing their names yet? And then second, going to Paul Alexander and Jim Bean. So those Colorado boys, woof, they're always up there.
Yeah, if there's anybody that's not sick of hearing their name, it's this guy.
Yeah, that's right. This guy right here.
He has been calling their names for a while now. True. So I know he's fired up.
I'm sick of them beating my ass, though. I'll tell you that.
When they beat you,
tired of that.
Okay.
I think same situation here, where if we're looking towards in that Devin Keene manner, looking towards a pro prospects for next season, those two, Gavin Hammond, Jackson Remick, right up there. Don't know their exact age, so age will certainly probably play a factor if they're under 18, but certainly someone that we got to keep our eyes on. But, I'll let Anthony keep talking about that. How about Yeti? Yeti Irwan. I mean, just going through a gauntlet, I'm telling you, she's going to be up there again this year. She may be, I'm not sure if she's quite ready to challenge Cheyenne for that number 1 spot, but I don't think there's any reason why she can't be challenging for that number 2.
Yeah, Anthony.
Yeah, Hammond with the sweep doesn't surprise me. Going through Yeti in that singles final for the conference. Yeah, and Yeti looking good too. I mean, she goes through a BJ Torres and a Paul Alexander. Paul Alexander, a high PPR guy. This is a 10+ guy through a tournament. BJ Torres is going to dirty up the board, so she's showing she could win in both styles of game. So I think Yeti is going to be nice coming in. But you mentioned Hammond and Remick, both high school national champs, getting that doubles win, and went through Paul Alexander and Jim Beam. Jim Beam, probably the best air mailer in Colorado, taking second in the doubles. But yeah, right now the high schoolers reign in the Mountain South. And it's funny because you get through the 2 high school kids, and there's like a list of 7 40-year-olds that are like right behind them going, damn it.
I can't do it. It's always the kids.
No doubt.
All right, next up, we've got a preview of pro singles for the 2023 Kickoff Battle happening in Corpus Christi, Texas. We have been waiting and waiting and waiting for this first national. Can't believe it's almost here. Super, super pumped. Trey, what are your thoughts?
It's here. It's almost here.
It's almost here.
Yeah, it's almost here. I mean, geez, it just felt even longer just because the way the schedule moved out, it moved that first national from February, end of January, all the way to first week in April. And you're like, oh my gosh, is it ever going to get here? So, no, it's just super cool, right? It's super exciting. Another year of top of the line professional cornhole, 3 broadcasts that weekend. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, I mean, storylines all over the place for me.
So many,
right?
So many storylines.
So many. Maybe picking my favorites. I think number 1. You start with number 1, right? Mark Richards. Can he? Never have we ever seen some for just for the sake of the conversation. Let's pretend some of the other quote dominant season that we've seen by pros in the past. Let's pretend they were on par with what Mark Richards did last year, which I would argue they are not, right? But take that. Never have we seen someone be able to come even close to doing it twice. Mm-hmm. Look at the last time we probably saw it, and you're talking maybe Jamie Graham 2020. And in 2021, he finished the year in the 20s. I believe he was 25th, his final ranking after that dominant season, right? The odds tell us you can never do that twice, right? So one of the big question marks for me is how close to that season, last season that Mark had, does he get this year? Does he win a national? Does he win multiple? Does he just continue right where he left off? I mean, that's the big question mark for me for Mark Richards as we go into this season.
Hey, Trey, though, in 2021, were you putting Jamie Graham at like top 3 still? Like with that season, were you putting him in your rankings top 3?
100% going into the season for sure. For sure.
Yes.
Now, now once we got halfway through the year, I probably would have changed my mind at that point. But going into it, that was our level of expectation, which I think made it interesting.
Yeah.
So then aside from that, it's then my second probably favorite storyline of the year is rookies, right? Who's this year's rookie of the year, right? Last year, we had such a fun, class of rookies because they were just so stacked. I mean, you talk about Richards and Rawls and, even Hicks and the Gores and all these different guys that it just made it so fun and exciting. So this year, how do you follow up with that, right? And I think it's headlined mostly by 2 really sensational rookies with a couple like right on their tails. I mean, Fisher Hamilton and Ryan Wiedenfeld are going to make this a really exciting year for the rookie class this year. And the question is, how high can those guys go and how high can those guys finish? I think that's something that's going to be super exciting to track all year long. There's endless different storylines to target. But those are probably my 2 favorites that I'm watching at least right out of the gate. There's certainly the battle of the carpet bag versus the slinkies, me versus Anthony, right? Like that kind of thing. But I just can't wait to see what Richards can do following this season and what the rookies will bring to the table this year.
I'm so curious to see Emily Downer and Lexi Hugeback. Like, just because we haven't, I'm so curious what they're going to do. I feel like there's a lot of hype behind them because of how they've played in the past, but like we just haven't seen anything from them this season. And then Lexi coming off the injury. So I'm really interested in that team personally. Anthony, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm just kind of putting some thoughts together here live, looking at this list. I just quickly highlighted. I got 43 people quickly that I have a storyline against. So yeah, we could talk about this for an hour. But yeah, kind of just scanning down some of them. Adam Hissner, I feel, is playing so well right now. His cutback looks better than I've ever seen it. He is one of those guys that plays one of the best dirty games without a roll bag because he has such a good side-by-side, because he has such a good cut and a good airmail. He probably plays one of the best dirty games without a roll bag. Alec Ryan was on our threatening the top 10 at the beginning of the season. What does he look like coming out at national number 1? He kind of made that run at the end of the last season's pro division. Does that continue into the front? I'm definitely got my eye on him. Alex Hicks, of course, is going to be a one for me, just from I want the nation to see this guy, this kid. He's just so damn talented. Really hoping he gets his national level broadcast on ESPN in a pro event, a national event, if you will. Alan Rawls, does he take over the number 1 spot? There's a whole storyline there who he kind of was that second place guy all season. Really under the radar, finished unbelievably. Came out his rookie season, had a blowout season as well. Just kind of undershadowed by what Mark Richards did, but he played so well. Does he take over the number 1 spot? Carson Getty could come in and blow us all away and end up a top 10 guy. So really going to be following him. Bubenheim has been working so hard, trying to change your game, mixing up bags, saying, I'm not okay with 17th. I'm not okay with 21st in the world. I want to be top 10. So I'm going to mix up things and see what I could do. There's a whole storyline behind her. Cody Henderson has a storyline. Derek King been working on his singles game a lot. The mental side of the game, he's coming in pretty strong. Devin Harbaugh has a whole storyline behind him. Does he come out? He's probably the hottest player in the game right now. Does he come out and win the first national, or does that not happen? We all expect him to come out and be on TV. Ian Cripps has a storyline against him. The ladies, Downer and Hugeback. What does the women's division look like sprinkling in these 2 dirty style players? We need that in the women's division. I'm really excited to see how they mix it up. Man, there's so many. Kyle Malone. Also, Kyle Malone or Devin Harbaugh? Who's the hottest player in the game right now?
That's what I was going to say. That was, if I had to look for a third storyline that I'm personally looking for, it's that breakout player, and it's specifically looking at Devin Harbaugh and Kyle Malone, right? How do those 2 guys in particular respond to all this huge wave of momentum that they're experiencing, and can they continue that momentum? Because in the past, they just haven't had those single signature victories, and they both just got one. One got it in the Open, one got it in the shootout, right? But now, can you do it at the biggest possible stage, which is a national event?
No doubt, no doubt. Matt Guy is another storyline. Just because we expect him to win every single event, where's Matt Guy? Does he come out and win the first national again and say, guys, hey, this isn't a popularity contest. This is a cornhole contest. I should be at the top of the list. Some of the double stuff, Modlin and Bubenheim, really excited to see what they can do. The West, who is the best player out of the West? Is the West going to make a run? Like, where is the West? I want to see the West just challenging top 10s, singles and doubles. I don't know, Trey, like, if you were to say who's going to come out in National 1 and have the best finish out of the West, who would it be?
I'll give you a wild card answer, and I'll give you like a safer answer. Like, okay, my safer answer would probably be, I'll go with Moses Sassueda as my kind of safe. And if I'm going for someone that's a wild card, like, I don't know what we're going to get out of Vincent Frisch, but like, we know the upside is there, right? Yes. So the upside Vincent Frisch delivers. Keep in mind, he also has to get through the PDC, which, you know, I think if he's a top level player, he should be able to get through. And then once he does that, he's going to have to fight through the rest of the crowd. So that's, I don't know, that would be interesting to see.
I would have said the exact same too.
So that's what's so cool is this. You didn't say Zaft. You didn't say Hadley. You didn't say Valdivia. Ty Lopez, who killed it at Worlds. You didn't say any of those names. I'm with you. I don't know what we're going to get out of the West. So that is a big storyline for me at national #1. But Meesh, I could keep going. Make me stop.
All right. Well, we have to stop because it's time to bring on our interview, our guest today. So without further ado, we're going to bring on Brandon Brown, otherwise known as the Canadian Donkey. Welcome, Brandon, to the show.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Going great.
I haven't heard the Canadian Donkey. I've heard of the donkey, but I haven't heard of the Canadian Donkey yet.
It was just the donkey originally, but then when I went down to the first Worlds 2 years ago, everybody started calling me the Canadian Donkey. Well, the Gore's dad and Jason McKenna, I was in the finals of the bracket, and while I'm throwing, they're yelling that out every bag. So it's dead silent for everybody else, but as soon as I'm about to throw it back, Canadian Donkey! Then I said, okay, I'll keep it like that.
So if we have to get specific for Canadian Donkey, does that mean there's another donkey out there? Is there an American donkey?
No, there's a mini donkey, though.
There's a mini donkey
of me up here. Yes. Plays the same style. He's only been playing for about 6 months, but he likes to bang airmails too. So it's growing a lot up here with a lot of people.
Is the story behind being called Donkey at least PG or PG-13, or is this a rated R story? Can I ask
it's PG. So
okay,
I love Donkey Kong. Like I've always loved Donkey Kong growing up. So that I have socks and underwears and pants and hats and like toys everywhere. And then I was doing my first ever virtual event at one of my buddy's place. And while I'm doing it live, he's hooked up to the speaker and he yells, "Let's go, you donkey," but the bad version of it.
Yeah.
And so then all the comments were just that, "Oh, you're a donkey." So then it just kind of stuck after that. I said, okay, I'm going to go with it.
Wow. I didn't realize this was a cornhole nickname. I thought you had this. That is funny.
Yeah, no, all my other sports, like, because I'm from the East Coast, so it's either New for Coast or my last name Brown. Donkey is just a cornhole nickname.
Well, and apparently I remember last season, Trey, you talked about how the Canadians had the best nicknames.
Yes, yeah, that is true. I do remember that, right? There's many, I mean, you guys got them all up there. So we need to start stealing that energy. We need to come up with better nicknames for our guys down here. So, but yeah, Brandon, as we get into it, one of the things I mentioned at the beginning of the show was that the evolution of Canadian cornhole, right? Can you speak to rewinding last year to where we were going into this event and now comparing it to where we are this year in the state of Canadian cornhole? Can you sum that up for us?
Yes. So when I first started, it was COVID. 2020 September was my first event. I showed up with corn-filled bags, not knowing that there's different types of bags. And there was like one tournament every 5-6 months, like one tournament where you had people coming from 100 kilometers or I don't know, maybe 70 miles. I don't know the translation for you guys away. And now we have tournaments right now from starting this weekend all the way to August. I have 2 free weekends because it's all cornhole now. I would say when I first started, maybe there was 2 or 3 leagues. Now I would say it's close to the hundreds, if not like high hundreds, because all over Canada now, Newfoundland took off, BC, Winnipeg, even Ontario. Ontario, we have different pockets. So you have Kitchener-Waterloo, who were the originators of it. Now you have Peterborough, who's picking it up, Niagara Falls, you have Barrie. So everybody's coming together now and just growing this sport because once COVID hit, there was nothing else to do. Hockey got shut down, baseball got shut down, any other sports, but you could still play this because you throw a bag while the person's 10 feet away. Now he comes up and you can walk away. So everybody to be honest, you can drink during this game. Not many other sports you can do that. And I know because I used to play hockey and get kicked out of games because the water bottle would be filled with beer and all of a sudden the ref grabs it. All right, guys, whose is this? And he knows it's mine. He'd be like, "Brandon, are you going to say it's yours?" And I was like, okay, it's mine. And so I kept getting kicked out because you're not allowed to drink and play. But this, you can drink and have a great time. And we're not at the point where, like, we're still behind you guys, but we're getting there. So we're still having more fun with it than I would say some of the American pros. Like, when they're going to every event, they're going, I need to finish first at this event. I'm going hard, whether it's a charity event, a local event, a regional, anything. Where with us here, we do take it that, but we're still having more fun at these events. People are having drinks. There's music. People are talking while you're throwing, and nobody's getting mad because it's not in a negative way. Nobody's trying to jinx you. They're just so happy to be there.
So you said it. You said, you know, you guys are a little bit behind. You were probably the most traveled player out of Canada. At least I saw you at every national that I was at. How would you compare? Like, what does that look like if you talk about, you know, where America is at in the game, and then you say, okay, here's where Canada is at? What does that look like when you compare the two?
I would say last year it was night and day. We weren't even on the radar of how far behind we were from you guys. Where our best PPRs, I would say, were, you're looking at a high 7, low 8s, where that's your intermediate level pretty much over there when I went over to the Worlds. Because that was the first tournament I ever went to outside of Canada, was the Worlds. And I remember the intermediate finals, they threw a low 9. And I was like, are they sandbagging? Like, how can you throw a low 9 in intermediate if that's supposed to be between 5 and 6, going by the when you guys write, okay, between this 5 and 7 intermediate, 7 and 8 competitive, 8, 9 advanced, 9 and higher open. So when I saw that, it opened up my eyes saying, okay, I need to come back here and help everybody get better. It's what I try to do here is I try to make everybody around me better, because if they get better, that means I have to get better. I'm not one of those players that are just going to sit in the corner and not try to help people, because, okay, I could win the tournament throwing an 8 average, but I go over there and I finish dead last. So, but now there's so many good players here. Now we're all throwing higher PPRs, which is helping when we go over to the States to play against the top players or high-level advanced players.
What would you say is the confidence level of, like, when you come into these events in the States versus Canada, like, because you guys are technically behind? I mean, you're all catching up now, but do you go in with confidence, even knowing that you're a little later to the game?
Yes. Every tournament I go to, I expect to win, whether it's in the States or here. I've always been a confident person when it comes to sports. I've played high level sports in ball hockey and dodgeball and stuff like that. So the pressure doesn't get to me. Alcohol helps with that as well, where I turn my brain off. If I don't drink, I suck. But if I have a couple beers, it makes me not try. Well, let me try to block and then cut 3 bags. Now I'm just put it in the hole, hit the airmail, just do the simple shots. I don't try too much when, like, I am sober, where I'm trying to now, if I'm playing, say you, Anthony, I'm like, okay, he likes to roll bag, so he likes to go to the right side. I'm going to try to put the block there. When I'm drinking, depending on how you're playing, I'll just go bag for a bit, and then I'll throw a block in. Then maybe I'll try a cut on a different thing to try to mentally mess with your head now. Because a lot of people now, they are worried about their PPR. When I first started playing, everybody was blocking and rolling bags 2 years ago in the States. That's all. The first time I saw it, I was like, how did you do that? Like, I just would slide it in or hit the airmail. Now, right, nobody cares about that game anymore. It's, well, I threw a 10 PPR. I'd rather throw an 8 PPR and win than have to play 120 rounds, 4 games in a row. I'm not young. I can't throw that many bags and be okay by the finals. Like, maybe these young kids can, but I want to get maximum points. So if you're missing a bag, then I'm going to try to put a block out, because even if I miss my block, we can still wash on 10s. But if I put that perfect block and you go for the airmail or cut, I might be able to get extra points and end it quicker before, like, a Mark Richards. Mark Richards, I've seen him down so many times, but he always comes back and wins the later the game goes. So if they had to get earlier points when they could have, maybe he doesn't have that chance to get hot and come back.
I feel that. Hey, yeah, I got a question for you.
Go ahead, Anthony.
All right, so I'm looking at this list, right? I've got hundreds of names here. Most of them I don't recognize. Give me some donkey picks. Give me a singles player I should be watching out for this weekend and a doubles team, and then I'll follow up next week with kind of a recap of their journey. Who should I be watching on singles and doubles?
Okay, well, I'm going to break it down from the East Coast to where we are, because it's like I don't see a lot of the East Coast players because it is quite far away. But Dion Kuza, he's a beast out there. He plays that straight slide in the whole game. So like if you're going to have to hit stuff and block him and do a lot of things to beat him, otherwise he's just going to throw a high 9-10 PPR. Okay. So he's ready to go bag for bag with you. I would say in Canada here, like obviously you guys know the PDC players. I'm not going to pick them, but I would say there's a couple names to watch out for. Dave Dunlop, Glenn McNutt. These are two guys that they play together as a team, but they're always going against each other. So it's always making their game get better. So they always have a great player to throw against. Whereas some of the other leagues, you might have one or two good players, but they always somehow are against each other. So I would say Dave Dunlop, Glenn McNutt would be the ones to watch out for here to make a good run, and Dion Kuza from Newfoundland.
Got it. Yeah, and Dunlop and McNutt are partners, I can see.
And they're partners. So I would say for them as partners as well, because they have really good chemistry.
Copy that.
Dion Kuza's PPR at regional events and higher this season across all events, 9.45.
Wow.
That's better than the average right now in the pro divisions. That's really good. That is really good. Now I don't know what style game he's playing, but that's really good regardless.
He just slides it in. He just doesn't want to play the messy game. He wants to put it in. He's been working on his airmails. He's been working on everything else. But you want to go bag for him, know that you're going to go at least 30 rounds if you're playing good.
Yeah. So you go a 9-4 with this. Yeah. As I say, you go a 9-4 with a slide game. You're top 100. Yeah. You go if you're Eric Davis with a 9-4, you're winning the tournament. So that's the difference in play that you get. So good to know.
So last question, Brandon, because I know Michelle wants us to get out of here. Can you sum up what the vibe is from the Canadian players, everybody that's traveling into town, not the Americans, but the Canadian players as we head into this event?
It is crazy. Everybody's been talking about this for the last month. Well, longer than that, because we didn't have a date. So everybody's asking me all the time, when is it? When is it? When is it? And I'm like, guys, you guys know the same as I do. It's not like I get a special message from Trey Ryder saying, hey, shh, don't tell anybody. It's going to be on this date. You guys get the same information I get. But everybody's looking forward to it this year, especially because there is no more restrictions at the border. You don't have to be vaccinated. So a lot more American pros are coming. A lot more American players are coming. So everybody here, we are still fans of the game. Like myself, every time I get to see all the pros, I'm a fan of theirs. Like every night, me and Tracy I still watch Jordan Powers throw. I still watch Jamie Graham throwing in his little barn area there with the dog always going in the way. Like I love this game, and that's how everybody is here now. Everybody's watching. Everybody can't look. This event next year will be even better. It's only going to grow here because of how much everybody's sacrificing and putting into it to help grow the game. All our directors are killing it. They're communicating with each other, making sure that we don't have tournaments on the same weekend like we did last year. Last year, there would be 3 regionals on one day. So now you have to pick, but now they're all watered down. This year, now every regional, you're getting 10 to 15 great players coming to it. So now at the Open, everybody wants to see now all this work from the last year, how it translates to the Americans, how we're going to stack up, who's going to be the best Canadian like you guys. We talk about this all the time. Who do we think is going to be the best Canadian? Who do you think is going to win it? What do you expect from it? I tell everybody, expect 3 things: to have a great time. If you don't drink, that sucks. and the third thing is you're going to see amazing cornhole. You're going to see shots that are the second game of rounders, and you're watching it and they're hitting airmails and cut shots. And you're like, I thought I only see this on TV, but you're going to see that throughout the tournament instead of just in the finals. So
yeah, it's going to be a great time. We can't wait to get there. Brandon, it's been awesome getting to spend some time with you. We look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See you, man.
Thanks, Brandon. See ya.
All right, it's time for buy or sell. I'm going to read something. You guys let me know buy or sell. The first one, and we're going to kind of go rapid fire here. Jordan Power will win at least singles, doubles, or a blind draw in Niagara Falls.
Sell.
Ooh. Anthony?
It's too much field.
Yeah, I agree. He's coming in hot, but it's a testament to who he's playing. There's a lot of competition. Now, there's 5 guys, in my opinion, that can win this thing. So a 1 in 5 shot, I got to sell.
Okay. Isabella,
he has a great partner. He's got a great partner, I'll say. So he's got a good shot at doubles.
Okay. Isabella Soprano will win women's singles in Niagara Falls.
You know what? I'm going to buy. I will buy this because there's only the Bella Soprano has won the second most open events when it comes to women's singles, only behind Cheyenne. So for her to win this, I'll buy it.
All right, Anthony.
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna buy as well. You got Coy, Irwan, Finley, Duel, Coy, Pratt. I think she's at the top of the list. This girl's grinding nonstop. I want to buy it. I'll buy it.
Okay. Jeremy Schermerhorn and Joe Niestead will win doubles at the Canadian Open. Buy or sell?
Ooh, this is tougher. I'm going to sell for the same reason I would sold on Power. Again, if I got 5 chances, like Anthony said, and I got to pick one of them, I'm going to sell. If you made me pick, I'd probably go in a different direction anyway. So I'm going to go sell. Okay,
Anthony.
I'm buying a bracket final, but I'm going to sell. I'm going to sell as well. Just too much other talent in the field.
Got it. Devin Harbaugh's the best player in the world today.
That's a bold statement. I'm probably going to sell it just because I think he's top 5. I still think, yes, we got a lot of recency bias right now. I love that he's throwing it there. I still think you got a battle back and forth between Richards and Rawls. I'm going to sell.
Okay. Anthony?
Did we forget about Kyle Malone already? I can't forget about Kyle Malone. One of the best in the world. Absolutely. Look at this from this weekend real quick, Meesh. That Ryan Smith match, I pulled it up. A 52-round match. Devin Harbaugh versus Ryan Smith. Devin Harbaugh threw a 10-9-2 over 52 rounds. Ryan Smith throws a 10-8-8 over 52 rounds and loses. Unbelievable. I got to sell, though. You got Mark Richards, who's turning it on. Alex Rawls remains consistent. Matt Guy is overlooked. Devin Harbaugh and Malone, also one of the hottest players in the game right now. But I got to sell. There's just too much going on.
Last one. Trey and Shelby Ryder will go to Disney World at least 4 times this year.
They've already been.
I know. I didn't write this. Sell.
Okay.
Oh, I'm buying.
Sell, or I'll sell my house.
Well, you heard it here. All right. What's your hot take, Trey?
Hot take. I'm going to go top 10 finish by the Canadian Dion Kuza at the ACL Canada Open. So Canadian sneaks into the top 10 there, and I'm giving it to Kuza. I like that PPR. Caught my eye.
All right, Anthony.
I kind of foreshadowed a little earlier. I went Joe K to win singles last week. I'm going to go with the doubles hot take. It's a pro plus an amateur not well known. Ryan Smith coming in hot with Jamie Fincham. Going to win doubles at the Open.
I'm going on the female side. I'm going Yeti Irwan takes down women's at the Canadian Open. That's all we got time for. So we'll see you guys all next time. Thanks for joining us.